What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I'm from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And I am pleased to announce I dug deep into my pockets, and I was able to sign not just Joe Day, but EP Eric Pahowick too. They're back for another year, good, bad, or indifferent. But I think they are the two best sports card podcasters in all the YouTube land. Your friends of mine, Joe Day and EP Eric Pahowick. How you doing, boys? A little richer, excellent. I know.
Excellent. I was going to make a joke that you did not extend our contracts and you're just lying to the viewers, but then you said you started waxing poetic about us.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, sure, I resigned, whatever.
I would never lie to our viewers. I mean, you're here. Clearly,
we are here.
Right.
I won't tell the viewers, pull back the curtain, tell them when we're recording this in 2024.
Well, you know, you're back for another year. It's all that matters. Everybody, I kept getting messages all last week like, did you get them re-signed? Did you get them re-signed? I'm like, I'm working on it. Just give me time. And negotiations went to the last minute, but, you know, we kept them on board for you, the viewer.
Our union steward really worked hard on those negotiations.
I want to thank his efforts. I want to thank the followers, you know, for the groundswell of support for both me and Joe to get us back on the show. I really appreciate it.
I wasn't going to resign you, but they kind of forced my hand. So, you know, got to make the people happy. So that's what they're here for. How you doing, guys? It's been a whole week since I've seen you.
Yeah, it has been. I'm going to start off because, again, pull back the curtain a little bit. We're recording this on New Year's Eve in the morning. Ish in the early afternoon. So it's good to have a beer. I asked Rob to grab me a beer, and he grabbed me this Trogs. It's a scratch. It's 500. It's called. It doesn't have an ABV on it.
That means there's no alcohol in it.
Oh, right. That means there's a lot in it, right?
There's a lot. So I did have to look it up on the website. It is 9.5. So it is lower than 10, which is, I said, please stay. Nothing above 10. And so he brought me this, and luckily it's a 9.5. So I'm going to have one of these to start the New Year's Eve off right, or the New Year's, depending on when you listen to this.
Well, they're not listening.
You're not listening to it on New Year's Eve. Right?
Well.
Oh, that sounded good.
Nice.
You going to join me, sir?
Yep. I'm not letting Joe drink alone. I got I'm not quite as fancy today. I have a Yingling flight. So, still Pennsylvania beer, but.
There you go.
Just wipe the beer off my desk. Sorry about
a good breakfast beer. It's fine.
Great way to start off the new year. Now, speaking of starting off New Year, I want to throw some channel stuff out there. We have a really cool rip that somebody did of Rick and Morty season 1. Pretty cool stuff. I love the thumbnail. Great thumbnail. I hope you like it.
I love the intro too. If you watch Rick and Morty, the first 5 seconds are my favorite part of the entire rip. So at least watch that and give it a thumbs up.
Fun thing there. We have, you know, our top 5 stories in the hobby of 2024 coming out on Wednesday. And of course, 3 cards on Friday. Maybe even another special video on Saturday. I'm going to try to do better with getting out. We might have a little bit of a log jam to pull the curtain back, like we always say. I may have a bunch of videos that were done that we never got. I'm going to start putting those out there. We're going to try to get you a Saturday bonus video. Not going to be held to it, but I'm going to try my best to get one out as often as I can. So
EP and I have been ripping and doing videos left and right. Mike has been too, and there's just so many of them. It's like at a certain point we could just not do the pod or the Wednesday and Friday show and just start putting out all these videos we have.
We could. We skipped a week. I could get a good number of these out, and we could be like Dustin. We could have like 2 videos a day.
Yeah. And for 3 cards, Fleer Appreciation Week.
Yeah, let's call it Fleer Appreciation.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't planned, but the funny thing is we talked about doing some themed 3 cards, and we did one randomly without knowing we were going to do it until we did it this week. So,
yeah,
love some Fleer. I love some Fleer. Oh, so what's going on, guys? Anything new, exciting?
So I have a few things for the top of
Okay.
the pod.
I
we
always
can
love
talk
when
about
Joe
here.
has a few things.
I have a few things. I did not warn them ahead of time, but it's not like EP where I'm going to trick question anyone here. These are some good stuff, good things to talk about. So I watch college football, as you guys know, and Pitt is obviously not in a bowl this year. But I was flipping through the channels, and there was a bowl. It was called Duke's Mayo Bowl. Okay,
Nice.
so is the bowl the Mayo Bowl, and then different mayonnaise companies vie for the, like just weird. Like it was Hellman's not available kind of thing. And then I started to look at them. There's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Again,
Did
it's
you
not
see
like
the trophy?
is it a large
There's
Pop-Tart?
a gigantic like Pop-Tarts on a trophy. You have to see it.
Oh my
If I
gosh,
think
that's
about it,
amazing.
I'll try to throw a picture up here. It may not be there because I forgot. But yeah, it was
Wait,
it was
there it
pretty
is.
funny. I didn't know what it was for a while.
The
And
mascot
yeah.
was pretty hilarious too.
There's a Pop-Tart mascot?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Guess what? He's a strawberry Pop-Tart. It's fantastic. There was the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. I guess John Deere not available. There was the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, which for a second I thought wasabi, it was like the umami spicy thing that you have with
Yeah.
sushi. No, apparently it's a tech company called Wasabi. So here's me
Is
thinking
it at
all
Fenway Park?
yeah.
Okay.
Fenway Park.
That
So there's
makes
the
sense.
pinstripe. You're right.
Okay.
There's the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. I have no idea what SRS is. Didn't look it up. The 68 Ventures Bowl, on their website, they say change agent for growth. I don't know what that means. That's made up. But my point for all of these, okay, how, number one, does Fanatics not have a bowl?
Yeah.
And number two, how does the Retro Card Chat podcast not have a bowl? We need to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can monetize and we can, if SR 68 Ventures can get a bowl, we can get a bowl, right?
I'm sure we could. Yeah. I'm
sure we could. They're just bad boy mode. They're letting anyone get bowl games. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk about. My second thing is a complaint. No. I finally figured out the thing I don't like about the eBay auto payment.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So we, as all sellers, we all love it, right? Mm-hmm. That people are required to, if they're going to accept an offer or if they're going to, send an offer, and you as the seller accept it, they're automatically charged. As a buyer, I finally figured out, not to be a deadbeat, but a legitimate thing. If you buy multiple things from the same seller and you auto pay, you now then have to depend on the seller to refund you the additional shipping cost. Mm-hmm. There's no way to ask for an invoice or ask for a price. So there was something from a seller. He had like 3 or 4 items I really wanted. The shipping was like $4 per item. And I reached out to him. I said, hey, if I send you offers on these, is it possible for you to refund me? He never responded. So he lost the sale because I'm not paying $12 for that additional shipping cost. So while as a seller, I love it, you need to be a better seller and read your messages, number one. But number two, as a buyer, it can cause some issues. Not trying, you're not one of those buyers who's being a deadbeat, but you're just a buyer who wants to get what you pay for kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I think that's something that's a glitch they need to fix. What are your thoughts?
We talked about that a little bit, I think, when we discussed the automatic payment. Like, eBay is really terrible with giving sellers a way to combine shipping, an easy way to do that. Like, I recently had somebody who bought multiple things from me again that I could not combine the orders together. I have no idea why. They bought 3 things at the same time. I couldn't combine the order together to send them an invoice. That just dumb. Like, it shouldn't happen like that. And they do give you the ability, if you're not making an offer, to add to cart. and then
Right.
like you could take like 3 things, add them to your cart, and then request a total from the seller. They need to find a way to incorporate an offer into a cart kind of thing.
That's
Like,
exactly, that's what I was thinking.
which I have no idea. Like they can do. Clearly, they would be
Mm.
able to do that, but they need to find a way to be able to do it. Yeah, that's the problem. Like we talked about before, they need to have better ways for sellers to be able to combine shipping for people. It's just a mess now, like has been for quite a long time. So I don't know if I'm super excited that they'll fix it, but yeah,
We talk
they
about
definitely
eBay
need
just
to.
having like it feels like a 1990s site that looks from 2020. You
It
know, it looks
doesn't look
nice,
much
but it doesn't.
different than it did
Right,
when
that's
I
true.
first started using it. Yeah.
I
So
um
that was frustrating.
I had a recent issue where, well, not an issue, but like I feel like when I got the alerts on my phone, the purchases were so far apart. I was like, oh well, I'm gonna have to just combine these two together. But in eBay, they did combine them together by itself, and so I was kind of surprised by that. But I do offer free shipping for almost everything, and they were
Right.
both free shipping cards. And I wonder if maybe that is a different thing where it'll allow it for free shipping. But I'm not 100% sure. But it seemed like my alerts on my phone were far enough apart that I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to try to combine them tomorrow. Remember to double check it because I thought they were far enough apart. But
Yeah,
And
it's
it's not-
kind of hit and miss with that,
Yeah.
with the
Mhm.
combining orders.
And my issue isn't if I have something listed for like, or if I'm going to buy something listed for $10, right? And I'm just going to pay $10 and I realize they're not accepting offers. They didn't send me an offer. That's fine. Whatever. It is what it is. And they can, at that point, potentially you can put it in cart and request. It's the offers, either an offer as a buyer I sent or as a seller I sent and the buyer accepts it. Then that's when the shipping thing gets all out of whack. So I had it happen to me. I fell victim to it, so to speak. And the buyer actually lost out because he didn't, he didn't respond to my message.
The
But
seller.
beyond that, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the seller. The seller lost out because he didn't respond to my message, but also lost out because there's this glitch in the system, so to speak, about how to handle offers in that scenario. So that was my second thing. The last thing I want to bring up, and coming from me, this is going to ring very loudly for people because I am Mr. Negative, right? I am
No.
glass half
No,
empty.
Joe, no, not you.
Actually, Evie and I talked about this before we started recording, how I always remember my losses in fantasy football. He always remembers the wins. So, like, it's very
It checks
much a
out,
Joe
yeah.
Evie thing. Yeah, that checks out. But so for me to talk about something positive is actually pretty impressive. So it must be a pretty big thing. So I'm on YouTube the other day, just, I'm sorting cards or whatever, and I'm going through. And for those of you who don't follow him, Spidey Hits, his name is Justin, great guy. He does a lot of Marvel content. He has, every time I watch his video, I feel like I learn something, right, about Marvel. He does a lot of live streams. He does a lot of box openings and reviews and things like that. Really, really just a great guy. I actually did a deal with him, full disclosure. I sold him a Spider-Man card here, I guess 6 months ago or so. He plans on coming to the show, which is going to be cool, and to either do an interview or maybe 8 questions. We talked about that recently as well. He did something really cool. He had a video, and he did a rip of 2017 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man, a box of it. To put it into perspective, that would be like someone doing a rip of 2000 playoff contenders. Like
Wow.
those boxes sell for $4,500
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
on David Adams.
Jeez.
Okay.
He didn't do a rip to promote his channel. He didn't do a rip to promote himself. He didn't do a rip to chase a massive PMG, which those are in. He did the rip to bring attention to the channel so that it could bring attention to this young girl who he knows. Her name is, I don't want to get this wrong. Her name is Nora Kay, who has this rare form of cancer. And he wanted people to watch the video and bring attention to the video so they could see if they are a living donor.
Wow.
Wow.
Like he had the QR code, everything. So because when someone drops a video opening up 27 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man, it's going to get hits. Like people don't rip that stuff very often. So he was doing that to bring views to that video so people could scan the QR code, get a test kit swab to see if they're a living donor for this very, very rare type of lymphoma that she has. I just want to say I'm not a positive person. We talk about news on this show, which generally is negative because there's a lot of shitheads in this hobby. Something like that, it just floored me. He's just a really, really great guy. And to do that, and he got his ass handed to him on that box break, by the way.
Oh, gosh.
It was horrendous. But he seems like the type of guy that if he would have gotten a big card, he seems like the type of guy that probably would have sold it for charity to try and help her as well. I mean, it just
awesome.
Again, it was such a cool thing. If Mike, if you don't mind putting in the description of the video below,
we'll
link to his video.
The description.
Check it out. It's a great time. And maybe if you are inclined and able to get tested, our viewers, feel free. I'm not going to presume to ask anyone to do that, but it's just the way he went about it was great. And we don't talk about positive stuff enough. And I think he's one of the true, positive people in the hobby. So here's to Justin. Here's to Spidey Hits for keeping things positive. We appreciate it. And cheers to Nora K. Hopefully they find a donor.
Wow. That's incredible. There really are some incredible people that do incredible things in the hobby. And, maybe this year we should take a little more time to point out some of these people and just, we have a small footprint in the hobby, but it would be cool even if one person finds somebody like that they can follow and watch their content and stuff and feel a little better about their day. I feel like we're doing a
feels like he does it for the right reasons. Like even just his content in general, it feels like he just does it for the right reasons.
Yeah, I'm blown away. Like he must have this massive heart. Like just it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can be that good.
Yeah, same. I could see EP being that good. Us, Mike, probably not, but
probably not. But I'm glad to know that there are people that make up for people like us.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible. Exactly. So, did you guys have a nice Christmas? We didn't even talk about it. Did you get anything cool? Anybody get gifts? Because spoiler alert, I got some card related gifts and I want to share. So I'm throwing this out there like it's hey, by the way, guys, it's really for me. But yeah.
I said before that I didn't get any, but I did.
You gave some great gifts, though.
You gave some great gifts. Great secret Santa.
I actually got this gift here that I know is cards, but I haven't opened it yet because I haven't given the gift to the other person yet that I got for them. So I'm waiting until I get that. So I do have card gifts, but I don't know what they are. Stay tuned till maybe next week when I actually give the gift away to somebody.
Boy, way to tease us.
Right. I didn't get anything card specific. I've gotten to that point in my life where I prefer not to exchange gifts. I prefer not to get them. I prefer not to give them because I the last couple of years, I mean, the only things, Rob and I don't really exchange gifts. We'll like this year we're going to remodel the kitchen. So that's kind of our Christmas gift. Right.
Okay.
But
Josh Allen helping you out there?
No, he is not helping me out. He is not. Well, maybe. I mean, I have been in some fantasy football leagues this week, some championship games. But I did get a check for, a couple of bucks from my mother and what's that?
Michael Rubin.
Michael Rubin. Yeah. From my mother and Rob's mother. So I am buying a couple of PC cards that I am going to show you on the channel next week.
Oh, nice.
It is 4 cards of like a 7-card rainbow. And I already have 4 of the 7. So it's a fun little collection I'm putting together.
Well, since EP didn't get anything, I'll show you. I bought myself a little present. I got this Paul Heyman out of, what is it? Immaculate, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 out of 5. Like I paid like $15 for this card.
That's crazy.
Like, how crazy is that?
Is that the green?
It's a green, yeah. I need to sit down and go through Optic and Immaculate and see what numbers I have and start working on filling in the ones I don't, because I've randomly bought cards and I don't know what I have and what I don't.
So before you move on from that card, Mike, I will suggest, because I did see you post on Twitter recently, he's doing a signing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some of the non-autograph cards like that, it'd be pretty cool to send in. Like if you had like 2 out of 5 and the out of 10 or out of 20, maybe send those in to get autographed. That might be a pretty cool.
I
cool
am trying to figure out what to send, but I don't know. But
the picture behind you would be very cool to send.
That's already signed.
Oh, is it already signed? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep, in the bottom
Signed it.
left corner there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
If you got 2 out of 5 for 15, are you going to put together a rainbow? Like that's, it seems like it would be doable, probably, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just one of the ones I haven't made a priority. So
right. Okay.
I do have some. I may have even gotten a gold in that. I'm not sure if I did or if I lost out. So I need to go through what I have.
I wouldn't be surprised if the gold is more expensive than the green. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I've been buying things. People don't really care for the greens.
Yeah.
And they're out of 5, which makes them, you would think, more valuable, but they're not.
But how awesome is this? I got this from my daughter and her boyfriend. Fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah.
The floodgates are going to open, man. You're going to get into Funkos.
Since I've been told that I have to get rid of those fantasy football trophies that I am not currently the legitimate owner of, I need some stuff for up on the shelf. So this is definitely going to be front and center up there.
Yeah.
Here's a gift. I'll call it for all of this.
Oh wow!
I got
awesome,
the Kramer's Choice book, so I am going to read a book, a lot of pages.
And you're going to record reading it and then send it to us as an audio book. Thank you.
Not what I'm going to do, but no,
that was a gift for us. But okay.
No, I will send it to you guys though, so you can both read it. Like EP,
awesome.
I'll just give it to you, and then
I'll
make you send it to Joe.
Yeah,
okay, I can do that.
And send it to EP second, because that way I have as much time as I need to read it. I am a slow reader, people.
I also, my oldest son got me this.
Wow,
this is a fantastic book. Like has like every WrestleMania and stuff. I'm so excited for that one there. Man. Joe, I got.
Oh yes, I just pulled some cards out of mine. As a matter of fact, I love those. And my daughter and her boyfriend also got me this. It is
Vault X.
Ooh, look at that binder with pages already in it.
Very cool.
I almost got one of those. It depends on what kind of cards you're going to put in it. The only thing I don't love about those, you can't see the back of the cards. That's the only thing.
Oh, really? Is there
if you have cards that you don't really need to see the back?
Yeah, they're it's like the deck protector stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was my little Christmas. I'm gonna put my Paul Heyman cards in there, like my regular other cards I don't have in the display case and whatnot. But speaking of cards, I teased it. I bought myself a special card.
I need to know.
And it came. I have not opened it yet. It might not even be the right card. But any last guesses as to what this card is? This was a big purchase for me. I think it's the most I spent on a card. It wasn't that expensive. It was a $300 card. Anybody can look it up. They'll be able to figure it out. So I'll tell you, it was a $300 card. But it's here. It made it back.
Ask a few questions before you open it, or maybe as you're opening it. Okay.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll go first. Is it a wrestling card?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Ooh, interesting.
EP, what's your question?
I was going to ask if it was a wrestler. So it's back to that. Is it a non-sports card?
No, it is not.
Okay. All right.
It's out there. Something different.
Is it a quarterback card from the 90s?
No, it is not.
Is it a basketball card?
Manning rookie.
No, it is not, EP. And no, it is not.
Wait. Is it
again? Go ahead.
You go first. I'll tell you if I.
Is it a Travis Pastrana card?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Is it a Eric Lindros card?
Ooh.
No, it is not.
Damn it. Is it a hockey card?
No, it is not.
Is it a Tony Hawk card?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, is it the Sports Illustrated?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It is
It's got to be an auto at least.
Yeah. I don't know.
from Leaf Vibrance. 1 of 1.
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
Orange Shimmer. Tony Hawk and Shaun White.
Oh,
Duel.
nice.
Dude, holy crap, that's awesome.
I love it.
Oh,
Very cool.
There's the back, the 1 of 1.
that is
Now,
great.
keep
dude.
in mind, as with how Leaf and Panini and everybody, there are multiple 1 of 1s,
Right,
the
right,
different color shimmers.
Right.
So
right.
this is the orange shimmer 1 of 1, but there it is.
Orange is the
like,
best. So
just fantastic card.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I am so excited to have this card. I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
even in hand is like even better than it looked in the picture. But
really clean
And-
dark autos too. Like that's
Yeah.
they're really nice, man.
The thing I like about Leaf is that, like, especially in this situation, they're not associated with a team or anything like that. So it's not like, oh, it's unlicensed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel right about buying like a Joe Montana auto.
this is different.
I've had a couple of those. I reuse those boxes to send stuff out all the time. They're fantastic.
So
But
yeah, that is the
very cool.
big reveal of the card. Tony
Very
Hawk
cool.
and Shaun White. I mean, come on. You guys, if you watch the channel more than once, you know
Yep.
I'm so in on the goats of extreme sports, and boy, it doesn't get any goatier than
No,
those
definitely
two.
not. No, not at
And
all,
I'm-
man. Holy
I'm
cow!
like
Color-
giddy,
it's
like
a
I'm
color match.
smiling.
yeah,
It's a color match with Shaun White's hair.
It is.
Right?
There you go. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but
One off the jersey number too, I think.
I mean, I'm just so happy to have this. This is gonna look fantastic. I have to rearrange up there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have any room. There's gonna be some tough cuts made
Oh.
in the next week.
Oh,
I have some new cards to go in there too, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of that maybe I'll take out some of the duplicates of like the Paul
The Heyman
Heyman's I
stuff,
have
yeah.
there and stuff. But yeah, that was my big reveal. I
That's
made
awesome.
everybody wait for it. I don't know if anybody cares, but
We care.
this
That's all that
guy,
matters.
this guy is really happy to have this card. So
Very nice. Very
that's
cool.
what it's all about too, right?
hmm
Yes.
So, speaking of being happy to have cards, long time ago, way back at the beginning of 2023, I was talking about how I loved Terry Poole and, the old 87 Topps Terry Poole card. And the three of us idiots decided that we would have a little competition to see who could acquire the most of a certain card over the course of the year. Well, it's time to give you the results of this little competition. Joe, of course, you had the Bird Emanuel card, correct?
The SP 1994
SP,
SP rookie.
EP?
Bird Emanuel. I'll tell you why I love Bird Emanuel.
Nobody cares
One
why
more
you love
time.
Bird Emanuel.
He
Yeah,
was
nobody-
the MVP of the
no,
first ever
I
fantasy football
I
championship.
don't even know what you're talking about there.
At
but
least I know
And
my guy. You
EP?
barely know Terry Poole.
yeah.
You picked Jamal Anderson. What was the card again?
1997 Donruss preferred.
1997 Donruss preferred. You really hampered yourself with that one.
I did.
And-
I did.
I, of course, chose the 1987 Topps Terry Poole because I'm smarter than you
Here's-
two.
Here's mine.
Well,
So-
okay. Wait, before we do the count, let me
Okay.
pull back the curtain a little bit. I do want to thank. I wish I looked up the name, but we did a video. The reason we actually did this, not because of Mike's random love of Terry Poole, supposedly, but because we were asking people the different ways they collect.
Mhm.
And one of the ways someone had mentioned in the comments below the video was that they just collect multiples of one card and to see how many they can get. So we're like, hey, let's try that out. So I picked Bert Emanuel. He means a lot to me in my fantasy football life. If you can see these cards,
Heard of him.
EP Jamal Anderson was someone he picked up, I think, on waivers and took you all the way to the championship game. And Mike still doesn't know who Terry Poole is, but he just had a lot of his cards, so he figured he's going to use him as his player.
I could have picked anybody from 87 tops and it would have been an easy win.
Yes.
But okay, so EP, how many did you
Yes.
acquire over the course of the year?
Well, knowing
Is
the
it
competition,
higher or lower than 5?
knowing the competition and
I
knowing
don't
like
like how he
I
didn't
took
answer
the
that right away.
I took the Ricky Bobby approach, and that if you ain't first, you're last. So I figured I just, I'm going to shoot for third place. And I have right here, I have 12 base
Wow.
Jamal
Okay.
Anderson cards, and I got one of the cut above die cuts
Ooh.
for the
That
price
should
of one of the
count
base.
as like 5.
At least 500. I figure this is at least worth 500. So
No,
I have
5.
512. I have 512 Jamal Anderson.
So you have
97
17. Okay.
All right. So you have 17 EP.
Yep.
So this is the Bird Emanuel card, by the way.
Very
One of my
cool card.
favorites. All right. I didn't count ahead of time. 1,
Definitely
2,
more than
3,
17 there.
4, 5, 6,
This
7,
is content
8, 9,
right here.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
People
20,
certainly
21, 22,
love to
23,
tune
24,
in.
25, 26, 27,
Listen to
28,
Joe
29,
count.
30, 31, 32,
I
33,
mean,
34,
You can
35,
speed this
36,
part up.
37,
You can be
38,
like
39,
2xp or whatever.
could cut
40,
it
41,
totally out.
42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53,
Are we almost
54,
done?
55. Hold on.
Oh my gosh,
55.
there's no stack.
56, 57,
Oh my
58,
God.
59, 60, 61.
I'm not really
62,
sure
63,
why he
64,
thought
65,
this would be
66,
good
67,
content for the
68,
podcast.
69,
but-
70, 71, 72,
I could
73,
count 17 of them. It'd be
75,
fine.
76,
Yeah,
77,
17's fine,
79,
but
80, 81, 82,
you get over
83,
50,
84,
you're really
85,
pushing the boundaries of
88, 89,
expecting the
90,
people
91,
to keep
92,
And his first
93,
stack was
94,
50, yeah.
95,
Yeah.
96, 98,
So
99,
hopefully,
100.
if there's a
1,
third one,
2,
we're just cutting
3,
out of here.
4, 5. So 105. But hold on, you said die cuts are worth 5 times?
No,
Because I
I
also
did not
have the
say
die cuts.
they're not. They were
5,
easier to
10,
get.
15, 20,
No.
25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60,
No, Joe.
65, 70, 75, 80,
Joe, come on,
85,
take
90,
this competition
95,
seriously.
Okay, so 105 plus 105
No,
is
you do not
210.
get 5 times.
You said EP did.
The one EP
So-
has is much rarer than the die cuts out of SP. Nice try.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I have
Okay.
like 120.
We've already bored the people enough, but all I'm going to say is I have these pages here. And I have all these.
So that
Thanks
looks
to
about
Sports Line,
50.
I have
50?
272 of these cards. I win. So there we
Wait a
go.
minute, I am
I am
shocked.
the
That's
winner.
all.
I told you. I got to a point where I realized that I wasn't going to have to keep buying these. So I decided to stop. These were acquired probably within the first month of the competition, and then they've been sitting in a box ever since. I bought all of them. People at sports lots are like, wow, those Terry Pools are flying off.
I gotta go get some more Terry Poles and put them on my
Yeah.
sword.
So this is a true story about actually purchasing this card. I went to ComC and bought them out, and I bought Burbank out of this card, right? Which ended up being 120, which I'm shocked I was as close to Mike as I ended up being. But this actually changed the price of the card. I went to ComC I was buying them for less than $1. I think they were like 60 cents a piece, right? I went to ComC after I bought all of these. $8 someone was trying to get out of one. They're like, holy shit, someone really likes this card. So I moved the
Wow.
market on this bad boy.
Oh, brother.
I'm
Well,
happy
I
coming in
mean,
second.
I'm glad that you can now control and manipulate the market on
The
Bird
Bird
Emanuel
Emanuel market.
cards.
Alberta manual cards.
I mean,
And
we're going
all
to
of
be
these-
canceled now because you're manipulating the market. That's happened to other podcasters, I've heard.
Oh, is it? And all of these Bird Emanuel cards, Mike will be grading for me through PSA. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. You don't grade with PSA. So I
No,
would
but
never
you
do
do.
that to you. I don't. I don't. All right. Well, let's move on here. You know, it's kind of a slow news week. So we're going to steal Chris Sewell baseball card collector investor dealers content this week. We're not really stealing it. I'll link the video to his video in the description below too, but he has a really cool video this week. One of his like hobby moral gray area videos. And you know, he has a big enough following. He doesn't need us to comment on his video. I thought it'd be cool though for us to talk about, because this is really interesting stuff. And one of these in particular really made me go, I never thought of that. And so he has three different things that he brought up here. The first one was the Topps Through the Years cards. We all know that they're the Topps. They're Topps made reprints of other cards that are autographed, patch cards and stuff. The gray area is with how do you sell these on eBay, and when does it become sketchy, like you're trying to pull something on the buyer, versus a legitimate listing for the card, because it's a legitimate card that's made by Topps. The problem is, like, when you look at a picture of it, it looks like it's actually an autographed card or a patch card with a cool patch and an autograph, when really it's just a card with a picture of that card on it. There's no real autographs on them. They aren't real patch cards, but the pictures do make it look like it is. And there are sellers out there that take advantage of the fact that it looks like it's
no
an
way.
No.
So
no one would ever do that.
So clearly there's a line that you cross between legitimately selling the cards, which are not expensive cards. They're cheap cards. But sometimes people get like multiple $100 bids on them. So EP, I'll start it with you. You're a big eBay seller. Where's the line that becomes a legitimate listing changing over to, come on, bro, you know what you're doing here?
It's right in the title. Bottom line, the title is where it's at. If you're not saying what year it came out, I've seen like the people start with the year of the remake, and then they bury the lead, they bury the details. You gotta start out with the year it came out, and then put through the years in it, like completely. Don't abbreviate it with TTY. You say through the years. You cannot say this is a Mike Trout Bowman Chrome auto when it's not. One of the things I want to also say is that it seems like these cards are, some of them are more insidious than other ones, and along the line of all through the years. Some of the cards, like you're going through a box of cards at a show or a card shop, and you'll see a card like, oh my gosh, this is a Randy Johnson rookie card. This is whatever rookie card. Then you flip it over and realize, oh, there's a shiny back. It's not a real rookie card. And some of them, they say through the years on them, but as Chris pointed in the video, some of them, even though they have that weird border on it, in his listing in a photo, they look like an actual, still look like an auto, still look like a patch card. So like, you really, the title is the most important thing. Don't mislead people in the title, in my opinion.
The biggest villain in this whole thing is Topps. What the hell are you doing? It's just the like I get the appeal of it. I do. I understand why Topps would think it would be an interesting subset to have. But you're just, the hobby, Topps. You've been in the hobby how long? You know how people take advantage of stuff, or you should. If you don't, you're pretty dumb. So like that, it starts with Topps, and Chris even said that. I don't know why Topps even made this set. This is just adding too much confusion. I 100% agree with EP that it's all about the title. I don't give a crap what you put in the description. No one reads. Buyer beware, and buyers should.
They should, yes.
They should be reading descriptions. They should be smarter about some of these things. And there's a couple of things we're going to talk about where it's like the buyer really needs to shoulder some of the responsibility here. But that being said, you have to put it in the title. You have to put the year the actual card was made, not the actual, not the
what the
rookie card
was from.
You have to tell us when the reprint is from. No abbreviations for through the years, and no abbreviation for reprint. You can't put RP. Like, you have to spell out reprint. So the other thing I took away from that part of the video was way too many people in Pennsylvania trying to scam people. Did you notice that?
No, really? Are they
the sellers were like from Dover, Pennsylvania, or whatever, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I think there was one from like Philly. It was like 3 people had these cards on there that he screen capped. I'm like, what is going on in Pennsylvania? But yeah, I completely agree, EP. It has to be in the title. It can't be in the description. And Topps, please tell me they don't make this insert anymore.
Well, they've been making them since like the 80s, I think. But they have different levels of how insidious they are. But I think one of the other important things is, like, usually in those insert sets, like the actual name of the autograph, the actual name of the patch, whatever, that stuff's not part of the set. The set is through the years, and then the card number. Like there shouldn't be
there shouldn't be autograph in the title. There shouldn't be patch or RPA in the title. Nothing like that. I will say there was one where Chris was like, "Oh, it's pretty close," but I can see how some people were confused, and it had like 30 some bids for like $300. If you're a buyer, I mean, at that point, it's on the buyer. If the guy is, if the seller is legitimately saying the actual year the card was produced, and it's through the years, they have it all typed out, and somehow it gets to that point where people are like bidding, thinking it's the real card, that's on the buyer at that point. And you know what? That's on you.
I'm sorry, Mike. We haven't let you say a word yet, but if I'm the seller and that happens, I'm taking that thing down. Like I'm not. I don't want to do that. Like that's the
I figure it's just going to be a problem anyway.
Yeah, right. Yes. Like, whoa! This is a $2 card. I'm not. I am not.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. It is in the title, and like, I feel like you need to have a reprint in there. You shouldn't have to because an insert said, but like just to clarify, and don't put anything about the original card, like nothing, the original card set or year,
the name
or
of the player is
auto. Just do tops through the years reprint of Mike Trout. So, and I mean, Topps has done this for a long time, but not even just this set. They had like a set called like something like Card Your Mom Threw Out or something like that. That literally the whole card, like I have some of those. Like I had that Ichiro Bowman, the 2001 Bowman's Best reprint. It looks just like that card. And, they've done this for a long time, and I don't know why they do it, but they do it. And it causes a lot of confusion, and there are a lot of people that don't know all the little details of the sets, and take advantage. Like I feel like to anybody selling the through the years cards that puts it up at auction is doing it on purpose. Like like the one he showed that had it listed the right way, it was a buy it now, and it was like a $5 card. People that are throwing it up at auction are like, well, I'm not doing anything wrong here, but just in case. But like you said, EP, like if I have that card, somebody's bidding $200 on, I'm like, this is going to be a problem. I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, they're going to get it. They're going to be mad. I'm going to get negative feedback. I don't want the hassle just because somebody's being dumb on my card.
It's kind of interesting too, because if they listed everything correctly as a buyer, other than leaving negative feedback, there is no recourse, because that will go through authentication depending on how much the card was. And it'll be authenticated. It's exactly what this buyer said it, or the seller said it was. And the buyer bought it over the threshold that needs to be authenticated for a raw card. I mean, like, the seller is definitely doing something shady, but as a buyer, protect yourself. Be smart about these things. I think the worst ones, actually, you mentioned the Randy Johnson one, EP, like a rookie card. Like one that doesn't have a patch, one that doesn't have an auto, that actually looks exactly like, I think those are even worse, because you could look at it even after you get it in hand and think it's an actual rookie card, where the ones that have the patch and the auto, you can pretty much easily tell that it's not. But did PSA authenticate a couple of these as autographs? Remember, we talked about
they did
this.
At least one. They did at least one.
There was one.
This was a show. I remember talking about this on the pod.
Oh, it might have been a Verlander. Yeah.
I remember that.
So,
well, the second card. Go ahead, EP.
I was gonna say that those cards your mom threw out that Mike talked about, those are all awful. Like that. All like that. Like I found a Justin Verlander rookie card in a box. It's like, oh man, look at this rookie, and it's like I throw it over. It's like, that's not a Verlander rookie card. That's a card your mom threw out card. And
the only way to tell on those, I think, is the copyright on the back. I don't think there's even anything else on the back other than the copyright and stuff down in that information.
Yeah, and that there's a separate numbering in there too, or something like that. I think, or is it not?
There is. Yeah.
Okay.
But the fact that the two of you who go through a ton of cards like this aren't 100% sure,
exactly.
That just tells you all you need to know.
Right.
All right. Well, the second one, this is the one I thought was really interesting too. Like, do you have to state that a card was graded as something else before? Now, he had the example. He had a Nolan Arenado that I guess he sent to PSA twice. It was an autograph card. Got a PSA 6 the first time and a 5 the second time. And he was like, "What? Like there." Nothing wrong with this card. He sent it to BGS and it got a True Gem 9.5. And he also had a Michael Jordan that's an SGC4 that he originally sent to PSA. It must have been in a screw down. They sent it back authentic, altered, because it was probably squished just a little bit. But he had people asking him, like, if you did this, should you disclose it? Go ahead, Joe. You're shaking your head. We'll let you start with it.
Nope. I'm going to say specifically for the Jordan, absolutely not. Specifically for the Jordan, 1,000% absolutely not, because we've complained about this how many times on the podcast that PSA takes a card like that was probably in a screw down, was probably squished a little bit, and it's thinner and it's expanded, and they say, no, we're not gonna grade this. We're gonna say it's authentic altered. Where no other company does that. It's BS, because at the time you thought you were protecting your cards. You weren't doing anything shady. You weren't trying to trim it or whatever. It just, that's how we protected cards back in the day. I had 3 Tiger Woods rookie cards. They came back to me ungradable because of that. And I'm sorry, they're not. They were in those thick screw downs, those 4 screw like brick screw downs. And there was nothing wrong with them. I did not alter them. They should have been graded. So that specifically, 1,000% no. I would not disclose that. For the original one, my whole thing is, it's one person's opinion. Now, he did send it twice, and one person said a 5, one person said a 6. Is it just me, or do I trust Chris Sewell more than trust graders at PSA?
5%.
Far.
1,000%.
Right. So he said this should be at least a 9, and BGS got it right. Guess what? I probably agree with him. Him and Alico 3, if they say that, I probably agree with their assessment. It is on a smaller scale, not the 5.6 to a 9.5, but how many times do you see a card come back from PSA, a 7, because the grader had a bad morning? You crack it, you send it back to PSA, comes back at 10. What are you going to say? Oh, I sent it PSA once, and the grader that had a bad morning, his wife cheated on him the night before, gave it a 7, but the guy who got late on the way to work and, just got a Christmas bonus, gave it a 10.
On the way to work.
On the way
to work.
You don't know what happens out there in California. It's crazy.
Don't. Yeah.
But you could send it to the same company 2 different times, and they give you 2 different results. So why do you have to disclose one and not the other? I don't understand that.
I want to get the graders in the room and say, why is this one a 5 and why is this one a 9? Like, tell me why you gave this a 5. And obviously, like, because Chris Sewell thought this one was a 9 or ended up being a 9.5. Like, in my opinion, the grade is the grade. The grade is what you have. Like, there's no reason to say PSA messed up with these 2. This is the correct grade. This is the grade I thought it was in the first place. I don't think there's any gray area here whatsoever. I would not disclose that information, because that is not accurate. It's not what it is. It's what you have in your hand, right?
Yeah. And like you said, Joe, somebody's opinion. Like, again, there are too many people that take the opinions of a grader as the final word. There are a lot of people in the hobby maybe that don't have experience grading cards, but like, as they grade more and more, they should get a little more knowledgeable about what they're doing. Like, we've all had cards we've sent in. Like, there's a difference between the people. Oh, why is this not a 10? It's a 9. Like, okay. That's a close
let's calm down.
Right.
Yeah, when you're getting a card, though, somebody like that who deals with all kinds of cards, have done it forever, you know the difference between a gem mint card and a 5. You do. So what's the guy seeing that, like, there was something that they were missing that they thought they were catching at PSA? I don't know what it was, but to come back a 6 and a 5. Like,
and it could have been the same grader, by the way. Like, people were like, "Oh, 2 graders at PSA said it was a 5 and 6." It could have been the same grader.
Right.
You don't know.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
4.5 steps though. It's so much.
That's so much. And like, it's a different situation where somebody who has a lot of experience is saying, no, that's not what it is, instead of a guy that, like, just sends it in random. Well, let's see if I get a better grade and pops a 9. You're like, oh, I'm going to sell it now. Like there are people that do that. They crack and resubmit. Now, not as much as they used to because it costs a little more, but still there are people that do that. They'll send it in multiple times till they get the grade they want. So is that card really a 10? If it was graded an 8 or 9, like that's a different thing than what he's doing. Plus, like anything he sells, like in particular, like people, he's documenting it on his channel. So anybody can find the history of that card and they can make their own decisions. But yeah, I think it's crazy because it's an opinion. So like, what's it matter? Like it is what it is at the time you sell it. Whatever it becomes later is, buyer beware on that. If you want to buy it to crack it out to send a PSA, that's on you. You're taking a gamble, and people need to know it's a gamble. Maybe you can't always take an SGC 10 or a BGS 9.5 and get the grade you want, but you're the one taking that risk. I don't think the person selling it has anything that they need to disclose to you about it.
I have a real world example of this, quickly. I bought the Tom Brady Bowman chromed height of the boom. You can go back and watch on the channel. I cracked it out of a BGS 9 case.
That was our first video, wasn't it?
Our first video, and it still like kind of makes me shake, like a $4,000 card. I've never done it before, and I'm like, let me get those towel clips, right? So I crack it out. I send it to PSA because I thought it had a legit chance at a 10 because the value difference, it would be stupid not to, right? Comes back a PSA 9. It still gained value, but okay, I have BGS telling me it's a 9. I have PSA telling me it's a 9. I end up selling that card because I do not need a card that's worth like $6,000 in my house. Like that's ridiculous, right? So I sell the card, and the guy who I sold it to, and I sold it through Instagram, the guy who I sold it to is a big BGS guy. He really loves the 9.5 True Gem BGS. And he asked me, he goes, do you think how do you think the card is? And he asked me, do you think it would grade a BGS 9.5? I didn't tell him it was already a BGS 9 because sure, you could send it to someone at BGS. They could look at it and say it's a BGS 10. Like, again, the guy who graded it a BGS 9 before is not probably going to be the person to look at it this time. So
he might not even work there anymore.
He might not even work there anymore. I thought it should be a PSA 10 or could be a PSA 10. So sure, it could be a BGS 9.5. I didn't feel any need to disclose that was already in a BGS slab as a 9 because depending on the day, depending on the grader, depending when you send it in, it could be a 9.5. So I said I thought it could be a PSA 10. That's all I'm going to say about it. And he got it back, and I think whoever he had send it for him, like crack and send it, actually damaged the card because it came back a BGS 8.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Like, or maybe even a 7.5. But again, that's the risk you take if you're going to buy a card and crack it. But yeah, I didn't feel any need to disclose that it was already a BGS 9. That was not, again, I'm not the person saying it, and I'm not the person who would be grading it at BGS.
Okay, the third card that he had were custom cards. I mean, with the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing right now, like there are thousands of those on eBay.
EP bought numerous ones.
Oh yeah, he is all in on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good discussion to have. Like, I'll start on this. Like, they're not licensed. Like, you don't have the right to make a card and sell it. Like, I'm honestly surprised eBay allows them to do it because they shouldn't. They're illegal to sell. I can't take a picture of Joe and make up a card and sell it without his permission. So
you better not.
We're doing that.
Better not. That's a hot item.
Yeah, but like the fact, like, first of all, eBay is at fault here to begin with. They should not allow these cards, but they do. Where do you guys stand on that? EP?
I think card art. I don't like card art. It's custom cards, card art, any of that sort of stuff. I think card art defaces the actual cards, in my opinion. Custom cards are fakes, and I think that if you want to make them for yourself, it's fine. But again, you end up with the situation where if you pass on, or if you get rid of these cards or whatever, and somebody comes across it, they might think it's a real thing, and they might try to sell it. And I don't think any of them should be sold. I don't think the art card should be sold. I don't think any custom cards should be sold. You can't sell them because they're not, like you said, like the licensing and everything like that. You don't have the right to do it.
Yep.
EP hit the secret word, fake. Like it's custom. Don't call them custom.
Fancy
That's the
word
problem.
for fake.
Yeah, it's a fancy word for fake, custom, or whatever card art you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. But it's a fake card. So we've all seen fake cards, and we've all seen the custom cards, whatever you want to call it. The ones that are the most dangerous are the ones with the legit autographs.
I was going to get there.
So I'm going to put the cart before the horse then, Mike, but those are the ones that I'm the most nervous about in the hobby. And we actually talked about this a little bit when Leaf was doing this. They were doing it with real cards, though. They were taking stickers of players, like, say, a Trevor Lawrence sticker that they had him sign when they had a license with him or a contract with him, and then they would put it on, say, a Panini Prism card. It's a real card. It's a real sticker. But what we're having here are fake cards and people putting real stickers, which I'm
Well, let me bring that up. The third card
talk about it.
that he had was he showed was it Bryce Young was like a custom card, but it had a real sticker autograph on it and
looked like a national treasure.
Yeah, it did
very much.
And a Brock Purdy that was like a NFL shield that had a legitimate sticker on it. But what people are doing is you send them to PSA, you only get the autograph graded.
Gross.
So they're getting like the Brock Purdy example was a Gem Mint 10. So it's in a PSA 10 for the autograph, not the card. But there are a lot of people because, remember they used to do the different color like label for the autograph grading, but now they're not. So there are a lot of people that see that Gem Mint 10 on the auto grade that don't realize that the card it's on isn't a real card. And that sold for like a couple $1,000.
Yeah,
so
like $3,000.
That's where it really gets tricky too. You have a legitimate autograph, but like people do this, they get an autograph on it on a custom card. They make it look like it's a high-end card, get the autograph graded, and it's in a PSA slab. So people, there's a segment of the hobby that doesn't realize what that means, that the card isn't actually a real card. And people make a lot of money off of doing this. It's not by accident. They're doing it on purpose.
Right.
But again, like they shouldn't be allowed to sell that card on eBay. Like I feel like personally, I don't think PSA should be putting those in slabs either.
I was going to say that.
They know that these aren't real cards, or do something to clearly show that card is not real. You are the leader in the industry. Like people, like it or not, they look to PSA. If it's in a PSA slab, everything must be real. It's not the case the way they do it. And they don't do a very good job of making it clear that the card isn't real. Like they shouldn't be doing that though, because there's no license on that card. Why are you, even if the autograph is real, like it's on a fake card. That's different than being on a picture or on like a napkin to me. What the surface that you have the autograph on is fake. I don't think they should be authenticating the autographs or grading the autographs on anything that's fake.
So I have a lot of things to say about this. Number one,
well, you love PSA.
So. I'm a huge PSA fan. Number one, the Brock Purdy thing. The one thing I thought of when I saw the card and the shield, I was like, well, to be fair, he probably has as much association with that fake card shield as he does with anything that he gets from Panini.
True.
In terms of shield. He probably knows about that jersey just as much. You make a good point about the color scheme, Mike, because back in the day it was blue, I think, a blue border for things that were just autograph authenticated. They need to do something. Like, I know they changed it to all the same, so they have some sort of synergy with everything, and everything kind of looks the same. This is a case where it shouldn't. Like, if you're going to grade these things, fine. I don't agree. I agree with you, Mike. I don't think you should. Or you should put on the thing, this is a fake card. but the autograph is real. Like, it needs to be spelled out. It can't just be like sticker auto PSA 10, because you're leaving it to the person who's buying it, who, again, I say buyer beware for a reason. Shit like this is out there, and you need to really, really be smart about it. But PSA needs to do a better job. They are the industry leader, like you said. Put it a different color. Market specifically, this is not a real card. There needs to be something done at that level if you're going to be the autograph authentication leader as well, which for a lot of people they are. PSA
not just
DNA
PSA too. Like, to be fair, like BGS too. Like,
I
you
agree.
guys, they both authenticate autographs. So like, you could, whatever we're saying about PSA applies to BGS too, because people will point that out. Yes, no company should be making these look like they're legitimate cards just because the autograph on it is real.
People will point that out, but I would say to those people, I'll show you the numbers. How many does BGS authenticate versus PSA? PSA is the leader in this. Like, BGS, if they change their thing, that's cool. It affects what? 100 cards? I mean, I'm joking, but it does not affect anywhere near as many cards as it does as PSA, or as many slabs, I should say, or collectors.
I didn't see it myself. I didn't see the card, like the label. What did they have? Did they have it like listed? Was just the name?
I think they just put sticker auto. Yeah,
like they should have
sometimes they put trading card or something. They don't.
It should be like non-licensed trading card or something like that. Like, they should really there needs to be at least something on the label that makes it clear that it's not a real card like that.
They could do something.
Yes.
Anything.
Do we think that the people of PSA DNA, because they don't just authenticate cards, they obviously authenticate helmets and jerseys and all that. Maybe there needs to be a third arm,
like blinders. Where they say
they're just looking at the autograph. They don't care what it's on. There needs to be like a third arm of PSA. Okay, there's the card people, there's the auto people, and then there's the card and auto people who look at both of those things and mark it as such. Because if you're just saying a PSA DNA, they don't care about, they should know, but they might not. They're not specifically card people. So they need to have that extra set of eyes on it, and have someone specialized in looking at every aspect of the auto. Like, if someone gets a jersey, like a fake unlicensed jersey autograph, maybe that should be when you type in the cert number, it should say, this is not a licensed jersey. The autograph is real though. Like, maybe it's not just cards we need to worry about with this.
Yeah, I feel like the card graders at least are probably card. I would think that you're not going to become a card grader if you're not already a fan of cards. Where if you're just grading autos, if you're just grading autos, like you're not, So I feel like that those people would, if you handed that card to somebody who's a card grader as opposed to just an auto grader, they would probably say, "Whoa, wait a minute." So yeah, I agree with that 100%. Like, anything that resembles a card probably should go through those card, at least a small check through those card guys. Yeah.
Well, hopefully one product that's coming out that will have real autographs in it is the 2023 Bowman's Best Baseball. Might have some multiple superfractors. I don't know. We don't know with Fanatics anymore. Maybe they'll have fake autographs, like multiple one-of-ones, or maybe it'll be all legit. I don't know. But EP, I know you're pretty excited about the product.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Bowman product, and I think the last 3 Bowman products have all had problems with the superfractors. So chances are
a little bit of an issue.
Chances are they will have issues.
So I have a list of some notes here that I took.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. I don't want to bury the lead. The very first thing I want to talk about is I believe they have revealed how many packs they've printed of this product.
That's good.
So there is a card. Yeah, there's a card that is it's a one single card in an insert set. It's a superfractor. Well, there are multiple cards in this available, but there's one superfractor for a single card in an insert set. It is a Ronald, Luis Angel, and Brian Acuna triple auto superfractor, 1 in 618,552 packs.
Wow.
So in theory, they can't fake that, right? This is one card in a set, and it's a 1-of-1. So in theory, there can only be that have to be the odds. So I think this is the first time any company's ever revealed that stuff, I think. And so I think that people will use math and figure things out based on some numbered inserts. but I feel like this is the first time that we've ever really known. So there you go. You want to pull that card, 1 in 618,552 packs.
Wow.
So
okay.
Yeah. Also, it's a cool set, 70 card checklist. It's all stars and prospects and rookies. So they really trim this down. So there's a really good set. It's a little expensive, $300 a box for only 60 cards in a box. So
how many you getting?
60 cards. Oh, I mean, if I could get some, I would definitely want to get some because it's pretty cool. All the rookies, all the prospects in it. The one thing the reason I brought this up as like a potential topic for us to talk about is the one insert set, a bunch of cool insert sets, really cool insert sets, all with their refractors, all with autograph potentials. But the really cool one that I think we want to talk about a little bit is the 1992 Bowman by Randy Johnson insert set.
Yeah.
And this takes the classic 92 Bowman with the baseball players wearing the weird clothes and just in the street clothes. And kind of redoes that. But Randy Johnson, who's a photographer, I think there's a 1990 or 91 upper deck card where in the back of it he's using a camera to take photos. And so he took all the photos for this, and so they're in that style. And the checklist is pretty awesome. With there's Drew Jones and I think Wyatt Langford and Max Clark, who are just 2023 draft picks, are also in it. So it's got a couple of the rookies, got Corbin Carroll in it, and some of the new prospects and stuff like that. But I think the concept of having Randy Johnson do it and the throwbacks to the 92 stuff is really cool in my opinion.
Was it a Yankee? Was it Rivera who was in like the Sears? I think Lico 3 calls it the Sears photo studio kind of picture where he's wearing khakis. Is that Rivera?
Most of the set was that way.
Yes.
Look at me knowing that shit.
And stuff. Yeah. That Drew Jones card is pretty cool. I saw that with the baseball glove chair kind of sitting in. But I also saw EP. They have that Family Ties autograph set.
Yes.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the three big ones in that one is Matt Holliday and Jackson Holliday. Jackson Holliday is probably like one of the front runners for Rookie of the Year next year. Everybody's talking him up like he's the next big thing, kind of like Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman were. So Orioles are really have some pretty good players there. But there's also Andrew Jones and Drew Jones and Jace Young and Josh Young. So those are the big three, I think. But I think there are 5 cards in that set, and again has the refractors and super refractors and autograph versions. I guess those are all autographs, but it's really cool. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge baseball collector, although I do open some stuff here and there. But I said to you off camera that it reminds me a lot of Finest from back in the 90s. So that's kind of what I like about it. So, I mean, Bowman's Best has always been a cool set. I've always been a fan of that. And those football cards from the late 90s, by the way, I mean, the ones that all of them looked like refractors.
Yep.
Show me a better card today. Show me a better card.
I actually... Was it last week on 3 cards? I talked about 1999 Bowman's Best card. I am not a baseball collector. I will not buy any of this, but I will say, if it's as cool as it ends up being, if it's as cool as it ends up, if it's as cool as it sounds, I would love to buy some football of it. So in a couple of years when they have all the licenses, I will absolutely be buying some Fanatics football products for sure. And again, can't let the new year go without saying EP said it's going to be like $50 a box. So I
said 300. I said 300.
Oh, you said 300? I thought you said 50. Oh,
no,
300.
I said 300.
300 is cheap though nowadays. So.
Yeah, he's buying 3 or 4 boxes.
But no, there are no atomic refractors though. They did away with the atomic refractors, and that was always a staple. It's been a staple like forever in that set. Yeah. So that's one thing that
gave me a Bowman's Best atomic refractor of Bert Emanuel, didn't you, for Christmas?
Yeah. Yep.
Never heard of him.
So. But anyhow, that's a great set. 70 cards, all the big rookie. I mean, awesome rookie classes here. Corbin Carroll and Gunnar Henderson and all those guys. Josh Young, who was hurt for the World Series, but I mean, has on a World Series team. So really cool set. Tons of autographs available. And not just those really fun family tree ones, but there's tons.
And how much did you get paid by like a Reuben to bring
I
this up on the podcast?
I wish, man. Don't no. I just pay me in boxes of cards, man. Just let me know. Give me 3 boxes.
At least, unlike other people, if you were being paid, we would actually admit that we were being paid by them.
Yes.
So. All right, want to wrap things up here this week. Well, just quickly, brand new year. We're getting off to a quick start here, but do you guys have any collecting goals or anything you want to get to in 2024? What do you think, Joe?
So you mentioned this before about kind of reorganizing your background a little bit. I want to too. I got a bunch of new Kenny cards. There's a really cool. I'm not going to tell the viewers what it is, but there's a really cool pit centric card that I am going after. In the words of Mike, I'm going to get it. Like I'm going to make sure I get this card. The auction ends, I think, in another day or so. But like, I want to rearrange this whole setup a little bit, have some different things done. And I want to get better at completing sets that I have in my little email, like complete these sets draft email. Mm-hmm. Like I want to get better at that because there's a lot of the PC sets are in there for me, but then I also have a lot of sets that I enjoy selling sets on eBay because someone will enjoy that set. Number one. Number two, I can then move a lot of cards in one fail swoop, kind of thing. So I have a lot of sets I want to try and complete. I think that's going to be my biggest goal, the whole room reorganization and then complete some sets, which EP needs to get me some cards to help me do that.
I do have some for you. Yep.
You do. Yeah. Sounds good to me. How about you, EP?
I want to continue with I don't think I bought a single card from my graded NBA rookie cards collection. That is like one of my big goals. Obviously, I want to do some fantasy football from my better fantasy football teams, that sort of stuff too. Or my players that are my players or whatever, like the Jamal Anderson type cards. But yeah, the NBA rookies that effect that I don't think I bought a single one, a single card this year. Didn't send any to get graded this year. I guess because the Kobe Bryant I got graded the year like last year, I think.
At the end of last 2022.
Yeah,
right?
so I did not add any of those cards to my collection other than those, and they were graded the year before. So that's my big one. Obviously, always getting organized and continuing to use use eBay, use the built-in market to grow my collection. So
okay, I'm gonna get organized too. I already have my BCW card house put together, and I have another one coming. Just
a second one.
Yeah, I need two. Wow. One's not going to be enough. I already have like 4 or 5 of the boxes full already.
You need 3. One for baseball.
Card houses, right? They're card houses.
Yeah.
Mike's building a little development.
I'm going to have a card development. Absolutely. Yeah. So
what's the HOA fee for that development, Mike?
Well, it's pretty high. Semi-affluent neighborhood. So it's pretty high up there.
HOA neighborhood.
But, yeah, I mean, I want to do that. I'm going to run more stack sales this year. I want to do, winter, spring, summer, and fall. So I want to hit like different ones throughout the year. And, I want to start a new PC. Like, I don't know what yet. I haven't figured that out. But like,
I have ideas.
I'm open to ideas. That's something we can discuss.
I have ideas for both. Yeah.
But I love my Paul Heyman cards.
Potential?
Maybe.
That's B show potential. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I love my Paul Heyman cards. I'm going to continue to collect those, but I need some sports stuff in my life, and I don't think I'm going to go with like a particular player, but maybe I'll go with like a rookie card theme or something like that. Like go back and get maybe a certain brand. I don't know, but I got to figure that out. So that's what
maybe like you did with the Pinnacle Zenith thing,
maybe
where you find a cool insert
somewhere up over my head. I don't know how to point to that.
There it is. Somewhere here.
Nobody can see it because my big head's in the way. But yeah. All right, guys, that was a fun chat this week. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Not a whole lot of news going on, but we just get to talk about cards. That's fun. Yeah. I enjoy these shows. These are more fun than complaining about Panini and Fanatics every week. So hope everybody enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you next week. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
See you, boys. Happy New Year.